How's it going, everybody? Oh no, I to the screen. What an embarrassment. Just a moment. Uh-oh. Just a second. Oh. I think we locked in the wrong orientation. I apologize. Or maybe we should just continue like that. What do you say? Okay, let's just continue like that. And I need a vertical stream, so maybe that's what Krishna wants. How's it going? Apologize for the delay. I had a difficulty arranging my lunch today. The stove in the place that I stay had issues. Prince, nice to see you. But we're here, we're live. Everyone who joining the stream now, Ranjit, Abhishek, Mark. Thanks, Mark. I've seen your comment in the beginning of the stream, and you. Thanks for attending again. And yeah, we made it. We're here. the vertical option here on YouTube looks actually not that bad. So what are we doing today? What I had in mind is to do some personal reading of the Gita through the Gita tarot cards. So I will welcome each and one of you to think about an open-ended question. And once you have one, don't hesitate to share it. And we're going to sift through the cards. And we're going to see what's Krishna in the form of the Gita would answer you. And let me just let me open the separate video stream so I can see your comments clearly, because now I see only like 3 comments in a row and it's a bit of a bummer. So how's the vertical view? Is that better, or the horizontal? Because usually I do a horizontal view, but I guess it's kind of cool. It's better. Nice. So we're gonna make an experiment and see what happens. Let me know where you're from, what's the time, where you at, what you up for. If it's the end of your day, let me know how was your day so far. I guess some of you, as I can see, some of you from India, and it's the end of the day for you pretty much. So yeah, let me know how is your week going, and how's the situation in your country. In my country, where I'm not at the moment, Israel is like in a second lockdown pretty much, and things are very difficult there. The religious sector is like doesn't want to be locked down. Others want, some don't. It's a big chaos there. I'm glad I'm not there this time. But I think many of you joined because of the videos from Israel that I shot. I'm from Israel. I grew up in Israel, but at the moment I'm in the United States, in Florida, which that's where I've been since. Oh, your first time here, Priyanka. Thanks for joining. So yeah, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita card reading session. And let's start from a little chant until everyone joins. We already are 37 of us on board. Thank you so much for joining. Mayapur 2022, yeah. I hope so. What's happening in 2022? Are they going to be done with the temple? I wonder how this will affect if I plug this. Whoa, epic. Om Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Garadhara, Shivasari Gora Bhaktavinda, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Garadhara, Shivasuri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Good morning, Hawk. Hare Rama. Where are you from in the world? Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Argentina, Argentina, ¿cómo estás, amigo? Federico. I have a good friend that I met in Israel just before I left in the beginning of the year. He is from Buenos Aires. Are you from Buenos Aires too, Federico? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, Agnat, you can chant Hare Krishna. Chant Hare Krishna, and I mean the whole. It's funny that you asked that because yeah, it's a question that devotees many times raise: how to be safe from the virus. And I mean, if you just follow the regulative principles and also regulative principles of cleanliness, you keep the body strong by following these principles. No intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. It affects scientifically. It affects the subtle body. When someone is accustomed to intoxicate himself, the subtle body becomes weaker. And that's why diseases happen. Like there's so many diseases around us in every given moment, but some are affected and some are not. And it's a lot to do with our personal strength, our personal integrity to be healthy. And the other thing is just to keep yourself clean. Keep yourself clean. Watch like where you put your fingers before you touch your face. Like a classic like Brahmana, he would not even touch his own face or his own body unless he needs so. I'm not a good example of that. Don't take me as an example. But if you just wash your hands and not go to places where it's not necessary to go, then you're not gonna get by like an accident or whatever, because it's really there are no accidents in the world. It's all just a question of our karma, right? Thanks, Mark, for acknowledging. We should treat our body like temples. Yes, Minma. Yeah. If we treat our body as a temple, then we can have more respect to others naturally. Hey, Harley, Hare Krishna. Harley is a long-time friend here on YouTube. I think you've been here with me here since like, I don't know, like a year ago you reached out to me? I think like a year ago. So, thanks for joining again. Today we're in a vertical mood. I never done it before on YouTube, and I think there was some sort of like a bug or whatever, and it just formed itself automatically. I wonder if you like it more. What do you think, guys and girls? Why not you answering? Well, there's so many comments. I have actually on the screen I can see only 3 comments in a row, and I have my laptop to keep more track. So on the laptop I have like 10 comments in a row. So I'm not asking you to spam, but any one of you who see that I'm not responding all your messages is like, man, it's just me here. I don't have many people. Like usually, like if you check out like streamers like Kirtan streamers like Krishna Das or Janavi Harrison. Hey Zara, how's it going? Zahara, no spamming. Yes, please keep it nice and simple. Yeah, if you check out like streamers like Krishna Das or Janavi Harrison, like Krishna Das has someone with him. He has his partner, I guess. She sits behind the laptop and she just sifts comments and she answers live, or she puts these questions for Krishna Das. And Janavi Harrison, she doesn't even interact with the comments. Like she interacts just in the beginning and the end. Can you hear me now? No sound. Okay, great. Yeah. Yeah, my voice is back. Thank you, Krishna. Yeah, I had a time limit. On all my social media apps, I have time limit of 15 minutes. And then when it runs off, I don't have sound from that. So that's what you experienced. I put it on ignore already so we can have a nice soothing time together for at least an hour. Can do at least an hour, session of an hour. I look weak. Yeah, I had a bit of a rough night, I think. Oh, thank you, Gora, for your contribution. Vivek is a great fan of me. Thank you so much. Thanks for everyone who participated so far, who liked, shared, subscribed. If you didn't subscribe, consider subscribing. my niche here on the channel. If some of you don't know yet, besides all the openly devotional themes, video themes that I've been doing mainly before like the quarantine really started, book distribution and books not bombs, and speaking to like random people on the street. Now it's not so possible because of the time we're living in, and I utilize this time to really develop this new niche to help people, spiritual people, or people who aspire for spiritual life, to find balance between their material life and their spiritual life. And just, well, hey Aradev, thanks for joining the membership program. And help people to find balance, between the material world and the spiritual world. So if anyone is considering, how to find that balance and what things to really to take into consideration, I'm offering consultations, coaching sessions, live coaching sessions, planning a workshop around this theme, around how to find balance between our human experience and our spiritual experience, and how to really put all these things together to excel the service that we give together to God and to humanity. And if you're interested in these consultations, you can message me at ramalunin@gmail.com and just tell me briefly about yourself and what you would like to work on, or issue that you're like struggling in. You're depressed. Yes, well, depression many times is a sign of undigested emotions, guilt, shame that we carry with ourselves, unspoken things. That's why things like boredom they coming into being, or depression. Yes. I also look depressed. Okay, I'll take that into consideration. Nice to see you, Ronak, Ryan, Hare Krishna. Yeah, let me know, guys and girls, where are you from? What you up for? How was your day? And okay, so how about we go and do a Bhagavad Gita card session? I have a bunch of these cards, probably like 80 of them. Each one of them carries a verse. A verse like this one, for example, it has a verse right behind. And I welcome you to ask a question, an open-ended question. I'm going to pick some of your questions. I'm going to go for the questions that kind of stand out with like depth and introspection, and pull a random card. And if you like, you can use the super chat. It will be easier for me to locate your question, because again, like, I apologize if you don't see that I'm like fully interacting with you specifically, because there's just so many comments, and some of them are stand up more, some of them less. Whoop. Where there is love, there is God. Thank you, Zahar. I wonder why my phone keeps turning off. It's kind of weird. So in the meantime, how to do proper meditation. Okay, thanks Ronak. That's a cool question. So the way how I do it, I chant Hare Krishna, and when I'm done with one sequence, I pull a card from the middle on my right hand. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The burning fire. Yeah, switch to the non-sleep mode. I thought I had the phone on that, but anyways, we're gonna handle it somehow. You like my innocence. Okay. So this is from the 3rd chapter, verse 39, and that's how the card looks like. And oh, my Bhagavad Gita, it's right there. Here, give me a second. Let me take Bhagavad Gita with me. Hare Krishna Dev. So someone asked, Ranak, right? He asked how to do meditation. So the card that we pulled is from the 3rd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 39th verse. And while I'm locating the verse, I wanted to tell you that the Bhagavad Gita book club is about to start next week. It's going to be available for my supporters, the Krishna Familia supporters, on the YouTube membership program and on Patreon. Both of the programs. If you go on Patreon, you can see the book club right there on the main page. Maybe I'll link it below. And yeah, we're going to start reading the Bhagavad Gita together, which I'm super excited. Hey, Hare Krishna Parashrama. Thanks for upgrading for the Curious Krishna status tier. Really appreciate your support, everyone's support, especially the members, because it gives us a more intimate type of association. I can see their comments. Whenever a member logs in, I can see that he logged in. I can see when he types something. So your comments immediately stand out, and you get also these cool emblems that every month, 2 months, 3 months, and 6 months they are upgraded. So I can see that Parash's emblem is bright blue. So I guess he was supporting me already for 3 months. I think so, something like that. Thank you so much, Parash. I really value your presence. Okay, so this is verse 39, and the question was, how do I meditate? And it goes like this. Thus, immense pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied, and which burns like fire. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It is said that in the Manusmriti, that lust cannot be satisfied by any amount of sense enjoyment, just as fire is never extinguished by a constant supply of fuel. In the material world, the center of all activities is sex, and thus this material world is called Mityana Agra, or the shackles of sex life. In the ordinary prison house, criminals are kept within bars. Similarly, the criminals who are disobedient to the laws of the Lord are shackled by sex life, Advancement of material civilization on the basis of sense gratification means increasing the duration of the material existence of a living entity. Therefore, the symbol of lust is the symbol of ignorance by which the living entity is kept within the material world. While one enjoys sense gratification, it may be that there is some feeling of happiness, but actually that so-called feeling of happiness is the ultimate enemy of the sense enjoyer. Whew. Kind of like a heavy verse, right? Because I mean, this is the main drive, I would say, in terms of like materialism. What inspires us the most to like either work or like social economical development is ultimately sex. There's a beautiful pastime of Prabhupada that describes actually this same picture. You can see this picture of Prabhupada above me. It's from New York, 1976. This is the Ratha Yatra in New York, 5th Avenue, Manhattan. And it was interesting actually because there's a memory from that, how Prabhupada was looking at all the skyscrapers and he was saying, thank you, Parash, for your... Parash already joined the membership program, and on top of that he contributed now. Thank you so much for your support. And he looked at all the skyscrapers and he asked simply, why are the skyscrapers there? And Prabhupada answered, because of the dynamic between men and women. The men, they're trying to impress the women, and they build a big skyscraper so they can sit on the top and show how superior they are to other men. So this is the main drive, and the more we are driven materially, the less time we have to spirituality, to put ourselves spirituality. The less energy we have to put ourselves towards spirituality. So, as the question, Ronak is there. Do you read Hanuman Chalis? Yes, I do. I'm planning to experiment and record a little something with my friend. So, watch out for that. Hit the bell. So, yes, the less you're tangled. There's another verse that describes a similar principle, that by mitigation of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, one can save time for spiritual advancement. So that's what I get from this verse. If someone is interested in being more serious in his meditation practice, he should find a way to at least regulate his sex life, or find a way not to be entrapped or shackled, like this verse, Prabhupada. This is what really stood up for me, and you can tell me what stood up for you from this verse. What is that? The material world is called mituna agra, or the shackles of sex life. And these shackles are like golden, right? They're made out of gold. And we think, oh, this is so nice. But actually, it takes so much of our time, so much of our energy, and we have less time to meditate. And even when we meditate, the quality of our meditation is going to be very tinged by that experience. I hope Ronak had somewhat answered that particular question. Jai Prabhupada, Harsh, Hare Krishna, Dr. Bodo, that's a funny name. Bad Eye, Hare Krishna, Rana. How do you know if you are on the right path in life? Good question. How do you know if you're on the right path on life? I'm gonna ask the cards. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Wow! Epic. I can't believe this is the card we pulled. I don't remember exactly the verse, but I do remember now. But it's epic because it's like forest of delusion, coming out of delusion, coming out of illusion, right? Like any path. I mean, people will not follow their particular path. Either that's religious path like Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, or scientific path or scientific research, unless they actually convinced by that to some extent, right? At some point they will be not convinced or convinced by something else. That's another thing. But everyone thinks is right, right? So I really appreciate that question, because then the question is like, okay, what do I do now? There's so many options, but what do I really which like which values I live according to, right? And for that, I think we all need to develop how should I say it, like a balanced sense of consciousness or judgment or realization beyond beyond scriptures or beyond a particular religion. And yeah, we have to basically overcome delusion. And that's what I like about Bhagavad Gita, that yes, it's apparently a scripture, it's another scripture, right? But the fun and interesting thing about the Bhagavad Gita, that it's based on philosophy. It's based on reason through logic, hypothesis, argument, and ultimately experiment. Jesus has nothing to do with Christians. Krishnas or Christians? Yeah, sometimes when I sell the Bhagavad Gita to Christians, I tell them, and there is a video about that, how to sell a book to a Christian or something like that, that I tell them, Jesus read this book. So this is a good example, because this verse, we're going to read from the 2nd chapter, 52nd verse, to answer the question, how do I know what is the right path? Thank you for asking that. I forgot who asked that already. So that is a verse that really answers that, and I appreciate. And there's Durga Devi is here. That's cool. I heard yesterday something in the stars was concerning Durga, and there was some interesting potency going on. So this is verse 52. I opened that on that. 2nd chapter, verse 52. It's one of my favorite verses, actually. Oh, so beautiful. Yadate moho kalilam budhir vyatishtayati tadagatashi nirvadam shrota vyasya shrota vyascha. And the translation is, when your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Right? Like everyone says, my path is the right path. Your path is not good. Your religion is this. My religion is that. But really, when someone is situated in transcendence and self-realization, he becomes indifferent. He might hear all kind of arguments. He might even reply and try to convince or like interact, but he will not be moved. He will not be like sometimes you can see like in my videos on Speaker's Corner, right? Like people are like shouting on each other and like almost like they just like outrageously trying to prove themselves as they're right. And this is ridiculous, because if someone really knows that he's right, he's going to be peaceful. First of all, he's going to be peaceful with him not trying to convince others. He might try to convince externally, but he will not be attached to trying to convince. Why? Because how this verse is said, because his intelligence already passed through the dense forest, right? There's so many paths. So many paths. Yes. Thanks, Zara, for connecting to this point. Okay, so the purport, there's a commentary to this verse by Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It goes as follows. We can read a portion of that. Thank Paras. How do we detach ourselves from materialistic comfort? Thanks for asking. I'm gonna flip a card for you, pull a card for you after we read a portion of this. There are many good examples in the lives of great devotees of the Lord of whose. By the way, if you're interested in getting one of these versions, go to the link. I have a link in the description. One of the last links is to krishnapath.org. You can download all these books for free. There are many good examples in the lives of great devotees of the Lord, of those become indifferent to the ritualistic rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities, even though an experienced Brahmana, Shimadevana Puri, a great devotee and acharya in the line of devotees, says, it's a long Sanskrit thing, I'm not going to read it, I apologize, but what he says is translated to, O Lord, in my prayers 3 times a day, all glories to you. Bathing, I offer my obeisances to you. O demigods, forefathers, please please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now whenever I sit, I can remember the great descendants of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kams, and thereby I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. End of this verse. The Vedic rites and rituals are imparted for neophytes, comparing all kind of prayer 3 times a day, taking bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers, etc. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he had already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service of the Supreme Lord, he has no longer to execute different types of penances and sacrifices as recommended by revealed scriptures. Any revealed scriptures, right? So many scriptures recommend. Oh, thanks, Parash, for notifying the chat. Here, I'm gonna make you a moderator. I think I can do that. So if you see something, Parash, you can just sift out. Thanks a lot. So basically, yeah, we all are wondering about, there's so many revealed scriptures that tell us to do this and not to do that. How do we know what is right? So my conclusion from reading this verse is we should understand logically, scientifically, what is perfection. You know, so many people like to tell them about perfection, enlightenment, and the first thing they tell you, like, there is no such thing as perfection. But no, there is perfection. We have that word in the dictionary because it does exist. Now the question, what is actually scientifically perfection? Regardless of scriptures, regardless of rituals, regardless of anyone's opinion, what is perfection for you? And from there we can really start and sift things out. So I hope it somewhat answers that question around where can you buy these cards? I'm not sure. That was a gift. That's the box. So you can look up maybe on Amazon or something. Wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita. A set of the Gita cards, you know. You can find it there. Hey Abhishek. Anyone here from Florida? Wow, almost 333 likes. Story last through their house. Visit in November. Well, you know, the situation now is quite kind of edgy, so I have no idea. Yeah, exactly. Florida is the Corona hub. I'm not sure. But the best thing is to just link them. Okay, so we had a question, a really nice question by one of my supporters here on YouTube, Parash. He is the new moderator of the live stream of the channel too, in the same time. How do we detach ourselves from materialistic comfort? I often find it difficult to let things go. How do we let things go? Excellent, excellent question. Yeah, Parash, you're the first moderator. I didn't try that option before, but because I have another screen with the comments, there are all kind of options here now. So it's gonna be cool, nice, and interactive. That's why I love these live streams, because I feel in the sense that I get to meet you. Cool, dude. Right. So how do we let things go? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Best of yogis. So I think this is the last verse of the 6th chapter. Very nice verse. This is the card. Woohoo. And yes, yoginam api sarvesham madgata atatranam sradavan bhajate yomam samayuktatamo mataha. This is the 6th chapter, verse 47. Oh, I opened it. And of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. So Parashi asked, how we detach ourselves from material things or things in general. And let's see. Let me know, Parashi, if you sense that Srila Prabhupada or Krishna answers your question through this verse. The commentary of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami goes as follows. The word bhajate is significant here. Bhajate has its root in the verb bhaj, which used when there is a need of service. The English word worship cannot be used in the same sense as bhaj. Worship means to adore or to show respect and honor to the worthy one. But service with love and faith is especially meant for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can avoid worshipping the respectable man or a demigod and may be called discourteous, but one cannot avoid serving the Supreme Lord without being thoroughly condemned. Every living entity is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus every living entity is intended to serve the Supreme Lord by his constitution. Failing to do this, he falls down. The Bhagavatam confirms this as follows. Ye esham purusham shakshat atma prabhavan ishvaram na bhajante avejante satnam brashata padate adaha. The translation of this complicated Sanskrit is, anyone who does not render service and neglects his duty unto the primeval Lord, who is the source of all living entities, will certainly fall down from his constitutional position. In this verse also the word bhajati is used. Therefore, bhajati is applicable to the Supreme Lord only, whereas the word worship can be applied to the demigods or to other common living entities, or to any other common living entity. There's a lot more in the purport. I invite you to read it later in your free time, Parash, or anyone who is inspired to pick something here. But I already sort of sensed something that stood up for me in terms of how to detach yourself from material things. And the answer that I was getting from that, and you can tell me how much you sense you connect to that or not, Parash, is how the real detachment is when we engage things in service. Like whatever you feel yourself the most attached to, you just put it in the service, do something. Like someone is attached to making a lot of money or having a beautiful car or a beautiful woman or a great family. So you engage it, or engage your family in devotional service, engage your car in devotional service. And how I see that working practically is that because the nature of material things is not to be engaged in. Okay, you sense it too. Great. I'm happy. Let me know what did you pick up from that reading. So how I personally pick up it's like when you're trying to engage things in devotional service, because the nature of the material world is not to be engaged. It's the nature of the material world is to to stay material, right? So either things are actually transformed in due course of time, or not, and then the stronger you keep yourself with your in your spiritual integrity, it will be easier to detach from them. Like from my experience, Krishna just takes them away. There is a verse like that in the Srimad Bhagavatam. If Krishna likes you, he gives you everything, right? But if Krishna really loves you, he says tadam asnami. Tadam asnami. I forgot the Sanskrit, but he says that he takes it away. So the way how to engage things in devotional service is that we give these either inanimate objects or actual persons, people. We give them the opportunity. Like some friends want to hang out with you, like great, let's hang out and do something spiritual. You want to go to a restaurant? Yeah, no problem. Let's go to Govinda's, right? Like I have a friend who he's a devotee friend, and he has a difficulty with eating outside. So the first thing I suggested to him, like let's just eat in Govinda's together. Every week they have a different menu, and it's like so delicious and everything like fried and ghee. Like who can compete with that? Come on. And if not, I'm ready to to cook. I was ready to cook for him, once a week or two or three, whatever, and give him the restaurant experience. So many things can be utilized like that, and in due course of trying to spiritualize them, the detachment follows in due course. Because again, that's the nature of material things here. They're not gonna stay. They're either gonna stay material, or they're gonna be actually transcendent. So I hope that was somewhat insightful. Thanks also, Parash, for doing an excellent job with the moderation. I see that some of the comments are like in Hindi, and I don't really get what people say. And sometimes I meet actually subscribers in real life, and they say that the comments are not like actually like all the time positive in the live streams many times, and I just don't pick them up because I don't speak Hindi. But now we have someone on the board that can help me to deal with all these things. How do I keep myself on the right path to attain moksha? Ronak. Okay, Ronak already had a question, so before I'll answer your question, I'm going to see if there was any other question. What is my opinion on the Vedas? Well, the Vedas are, to understand the Vedas, you need to accept a bona fide spiritual master. That's kind of the key to learning the Vedas. So my spiritual master, thanks Parash, my spiritual master translated portions of the fifth Veda, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, and the Upanishads. And that's what I personally study. And other than that, it's like nice. It's like, I'm sure it's like very interesting, but in a sense, the key is not there. Like the key to understand the Vedic literatures is through the disciplic succession, through your spiritual master. And Krishna actually, in the same Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says himself, evam para para praptam ejam evam rajasa yuviduhu. That this science was passed down through the disciplic succession. And in the same chapter, it mentions that the way to understand that is to accept the bona fide spiritual master. So whichever portions of your spiritual master of the Vedas that your spiritual master translated, given you, like, yeah, go and read it. It's excellent. Other than that, it's like, kind of questionable. The purpose of that is questionable. Okay, so Ranak, Jai Shri Ram, Ranak. You asked the question there. Here. What is Ranak asked? How to keep myself always on the path to attain moksha. Okay, let's do it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have like 10 more minutes to go. So I'm going to answer this question, and then we're going to do a short kirtan with this new melody that I learned. Probably some of you know, but for me it's kind of like a big thing because I play only 2 melodies, maybe 3. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, that's the same card we had before. It's so interesting because I was thinking, damn, like he asked the same question that guy asked before, right? How to keep ourselves on the right path. But that's the same. No, this is the question that we pulled out. The card that answered the question, how to meditate. And yes, as our enemy, lust, to conquer lust, how to attain moksha, burning fire. So the verse, I'm just going to repeat the verse because we already read the commentary. It's 3rd chapter, verse 39. And I saw the super chat question, and I think it's someone that actually asked me to pull a card from him in the previous session, and we didn't have time. And he came again in the end. So I'm going to make a short exception just because he returned. So the translation is, thus a man pure consciousness is covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire. So yeah, keep yourself safe on the path to moksha by conquering lust. And how to do it, there's a whole science behind that. Gonna get into that perhaps in the next stream. So hope you're gonna be here. So we had a question in the super chat. Please pick a card from career and future life. What your career and future life holds, or someone I remember asked me how to choose a career or how to find a career, something like that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, this is the 7th chapter, verse 9 to 10. Seed of creation. Beautiful card. Isn't it? So, verse 9, chapter 7. This is the chapter that Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami gave classes the most. If you want to get one of these books yourself, you can go and download a free PDF Kindle version on krishnapath.org. The link is down in the description. I am the original fragrance of earth. I am the heat in fire. I am the life of all that lives. I am the penance of all ascetics. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything is in the material world has a certain flavor or fragrance, and the flavor and fragrance in a flower or in the earth or in your job, in water and fire, etc., is the uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor which permeates everything, is Krishna. Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by a mixture of chemicals. So everything originally has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vibhav means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. That heat in fire is Krishna. According to the Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to low temperature of the body. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware of that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle. All chemicals and material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life to diminish it. So Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere. The name Krishna was present in this purport so many times, and that's kind of how it answers that question for me. Like, how to pick our job or our career is to really sit with ourselves, find a quiet place where we're not going to be disturbed for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half a day, maybe a week, maybe a month, and just sit there and think how really this job can serve Krishna, how it can bring me closer to God, to my service to God, regardless of even the active principle there, because all the active principles there on God, but what is the quality of that activity that connects me closer? So I hope that was somewhat. Okay, Ronak. Epic. I'm glad you were touched. You felt connected to the card that I pulled for you. Okay, let's, we have a few minutes left, 5 minutes left. I'm gonna show you this new tune that I learned. Are you ready? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. The world is against me, but I am with you. Yes. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Anyone knows this tune? I picked it up from someone in the community that chants this melody. If you know the tune, join in. Swastik, you can contribute, you can use PayPal, the super chat, YouTube does takes like 30% of the contribution here. You can use it still, I mean, I don't personally mind, but if you like to use your contribution to its full capacity, you can use PayPal. It takes a little bit too, but the link is down in the description to the video, to my PayPal. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. comment section how did you like this session, which was your favorite part, the reading, the chanting at the beginning, the chanting at the end, if you like the new melody that I found. Thanks Swastik for coming towards. Okay, no problem. You can just use the super chat here. That's fine too. Thank Parash. Parash is our new moderator, and he just upgraded today too for the membership program, Curious Krishnas. Thank you so much, Parash, for joining the adventure on the live streams and all over on the channel. Looking forward to see our interactions more here. Hey, Mel, you back? A bit late, but you back. Of course, I remember you. You are an all-time subscriber. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. So thanks for everyone who joined. We had like 100 viewers at some point. That was pretty epic. A new record, and we're about to set a new record, new milestone, 100,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing and hitting the bell so you know when the next live stream is happening. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next stream. And also, I publish the timing on the streams on my Instagram profile, so you can join me there on Living Rama, at Living Rama, basically, pretty much. And another thing about myself, my lady asks, yes, I offer people consultations around how to balance their material and spiritual life. I welcome you to message me at ramalunin@gmail.com. Tell me a bit more about yourself. What is hampering your material or spiritual life, and together we can, find a ground that you can thrive from. And pull yourself both materially and spiritually. Thank you so much for everybody. so many usernames with this weird names. Oh, thanks for censoring their comments. Parash, excellent job. I'm so happy you're on the team, and I kind of feel that you are happy to be on board too. So that's the most important thing. Thank you, Zahara, for your presence too. Zahara joined. Where are you from, Zahara Jawab? You've been here from the very beginning of the stream, about an hour ago, more than an hour ago. Dubai, cool. Never been to Dubai, but I heard some cool things from there. Someone just added me on Instagram from Dubai too. This one yoga teacher. Vishal, Raju, thank you for sticking to the end. Lucifer says Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Muna, Rakesh, everyone who contributed in Super Chat, thank you so much. I really feel supported and appreciated. I'll see you all in the next time.